At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Navigating through this spiritual journey is challenging. Healers need healers, trainers need trainers, and leaders need leaders too. If you're looking for a space that offers Reiki healing, emotional mastery, chakra healing, and even one-on-one spiritual consultation, visit us at todayswellness.com. Get all your spiritual needs met and just have someone you can actually talk to. Because whatever it is that you are seeking is also within you.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor. Please hit that like button and please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. I need a haircut so bad. Guys, listen. The beard experiment is working. It's working, guys. I know I'm going to grow a beard. Give me like 6 months. It's coming. It's coming. Hold on, let me just text this person back. So hit the like button. Also, make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. A couple of announcements. We are rolling to Sierra Leone. We're rolling to Sierra Leone next month. Man. Next month. We are rolling to Sierra Leone. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Donfo.Africa. Shout out to Letitia. Listen, it's growing. Like, so hold on. What side am I on? See, this is slowly starting to fill in. Also, right here, this little spot's right here. So I've been using my juices and berries, and it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. The beard is gonna work out, y'all. I just want a beard, man. You know, I'd be jealous looking at full beards. I'm like, I want one of those. So we gonna work it out. I'm gonna give it 6 months. If it don't work out in 6 months, I'm just gonna abandon it and just rock the goatee. But we are rolling to Sierra Leone. We're rolling to Sierra Leone. That is November 25th through December 6th. November 25th through December 6th. We are rolling to Sierra Leone. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Donfo, DANFO.Africa. Again, please visit Donfo, DANFO.Africa. We'll love to have you all. Citizenship is still somewhat up in the air. But we're rolling regardless. If you want to join us, please visit Donfo.Africa to learn more. We are also rolling to Benin Republic, January 3rd to the 12th, January 3rd to the 12th for the Voodoo Festival. Again, January 3rd to the 12th, we are rolling to, let me fix this real quick, Benin Republic for the Voodoo Festival. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Donfo.Africa. We will, love to have you guys on one of our trips. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have an awesome time. So come and join us, And guys, I know I've been inconsistent when it comes to the live streams. We will get back on schedule starting next week. In fact, no, starting this week. Well, the week's almost over. But I'll go live again tomorrow, for sure Sunday. Saturday is college football Saturday, guys. I'm usually just glued. I love college football. I'm not an NFL guy. Again, I'm not an NFL guy, but I love college football. I'm a huge college college football fan. As you know, I am an alumni of the University of Georgia, and we beat Texas last weekend. We have a bye this week to rest up because then we got Florida, Tennessee, Ole Miss. We get to those 3 games, we good to go because we'll beat Tech. Then we got like a UMass, the game before Tech, and then hopefully we'll be in the SEC championship. So, looking forward to that. But guys, do me a favor, hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe if you are new to the if you're new to the content. Go ahead and hit that subscription bell. Again, go ahead and hit that subscription bell. So today's topic, we're going to discuss the Central Park Five. If you don't know, they're suing Donald Trump for defamation. And this is all, if you ask me, this is all this, if you ask me, this lawsuit, it's all political theater. And the reason why I say that is because, the Central Park Five, they spoke at the DNC. So they're involving themselves in politics. And then we see what happened. We see what's going on with all of Trump's other cases. So Fannie Willis, is supposed to be taking Trump down. That's completely imploded. The hush money trial, the trial as far as, I guess, Trump overestimating his real estate, that's in limbo. The January 6th trial, that's in limbo. So I just think this is a last ditch effort because Trump has been very vocal in regards to not backing down when it comes to what he said about the Central Park Five. He's been very vocal since it happened. But, this is like, I guess this is supposed to be some type of October surprise. Like, hey, we're going to finally sue him now for slander in October. When Trump has been very vocal how he feels. Fannie and Nathan Willis about to get charges from the DOJ. Like, I mean, this is what you're like. This is Fannie Willis was supposed to take down Donald Trump here in Atlanta. And it turned into a complete cluster. You know what? I'm not going to say the F word, but it turned into, we try to keep this PG-13 at least. Until I'll put the link in the chat room. And then when y'all call in, y'all start going crazy. But, it's been a complete cluster. You know what? But, they're going to take down Trump. Trump going to be in jail. And, he's gonna be behind bars, and he's beating everything. But I just find it very opportune that the Central Park Five waited until October of 2024 during the presidential election, in which Kamala's losing, if you look at the polls, to file what would it be considered, a civil lawsuit, I guess, against Donald Trump for what he said about them. But he's been saying that publicly for years. But it's, it's whatever. I mean, good luck to them. I don't see anything really coming from it. But, like I said, look at all the other cases against Trump. They're not going anywhere. So so that's what's going on with the Central Park Five. Also, the CEO of Air Peace, Alan Onyema, recently, in fact, let's go ahead and pull up a video on this. That'll be better. I hope everybody's okay. And I'll put the link in the chat room here shortly. for those who want to add to the combo. Black Beauty, are you in Nigeria? Black Beauty, are you in Nigeria? Yeah, because some people are saying the case was cleared. Some people saying it's not. In regards to
building your custom home is now easier than ever. And with America's Home Place, we can show you how. During our 50 years as a custom home builder.
Joining us now is Ojinika Ojiope, with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How was your weekend? I feel like the Monday introduction is quite different from the rest of the week. What happens over the weekend remains a mystery.
Monday and Friday.
Oh, yes, you're right. Fridays are always great. Good morning, Ayo. We missed you during the week. Hope you had a great trip.
I did. It was good.
Rested and refreshed.
Thank you.
Good morning, Rufy on fire. How are you this morning?
Fantastic. You told me to zip my lips.
Yes,
so
zip it.
I'm not going to say anything.
Zip it. I love
But guess
that.
what, Oji?
Yes.
I know what keeps you calm.
Fantastic. Well, all right. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. Over the weekend, social media was abuzz with reactions trailing a report by the U.S. Department of Justice indicating that the chairman of Air Peace Airlines, Dr. Alan Onyema, and the chief of finance and administration, Ejiro Igaga, had been charged with alleged obstruction of justice. Air Peace, however, in a statement on Sunday, denied any wrongdoing by its chairman and chief of finance and administration. The company reaffirmed the innocence of both executives, saying that they are confident that they will be exonerated, while emphasizing that the charges were mere allegations, with the case ongoing in court. The company also reiterated that Dr. Onyema and his legal representatives have consistently cooperated with relevant authorities throughout the legal process. While the statement reads in part, these charges levied against our post holders are part of an extended legal process stemming from earlier accusations of financial misdeeds that date back several years. While the charges have been expanded, it is essential to emphasize that both Dr. Onyema and Ms. Igaga remain innocent, and these are mere allegations, and the case is still in court. Our legal team is fully engaged with the matter and is working tirelessly to ensure that justice prevails. We remain confident that through due process, the truth will be revealed, and our CEO and co-defendant will be exonerated. I mean, Dr. Abati, over the weekend, there was this media trial that was going on with, the story that came out from the U.S. Department of Justice. Because it's a legal issue, I'd love to hand over the baton to you. Okay. I know that Dr. Onyema had stated in his previous response back in 2019 about these money laundering charges that he was innocent of the crime and that he didn't have anything to do with those charges.
Okay, let me piggyback on your point about media trial. Mm-hmm. Over the weekend, I felt a bit uncomfortable that the Nigerian media seems to have jumped to a conclusion. And this is what we do all the time, Nigerian journalists. They hear a story that is juicy, sensational, they jump on it without hearing the other side. And I think that Nigerian journalists should desist from this media witch hunting, of persons, particularly a person like Mr. Alan Onyema, who, in fact, during the Yar'Adua administration, was a major architect of the nonviolent program leading to the amnesty program, training about 30,000 persons in the Niger Delta region and helping them, through the contract that he got from the federal government, to protect, save, secure the country. Mr. Alan Onyema, in another occasion, has also proved to be a major patriot, during the COVID crisis that we had in 2020, 2021, ferrying people from South Africa during COVID from other parts of the world, and even when Nigerians had issues in South Africa. In other words, you will expect that the Nigerian media, these same journalists, who jump on sensational stories, will at least try to exercise a little caution. Now, let's go back to 2019. In 2019, Mr. Onyema and Epis had made it very clear that, look, those allegations are not true, that he never intended to do any money laundering, and he was not involved in any money laundering, and that the money that they are talking about, was passed through even the banking system in the United States. So where is the fraud? Where is the money laundering? However, the latest development is that the 36 charges in 2019, they've added 2 charges to it in Georgia, and they say, okay, additional 2 charges relating to, according to them, Mr. Onyema and also Mrs. Ehaha. I think that's the name, Ehaha. I think it's an open name, a branch of the Urobo people in the Niger Delta. Yeah, right. Now, they now say that 2 charges have been added, coming to 38. I think that if you check it, well, this is a kind of misunderstanding between 2 jurisdictions, because the 5 aircraft that are at issue in this particular case, they are flying in Nigeria. They are here, they are operational. So I think that these are some of the issues that we need to look at, and Nigerians should not jump to conclusions. These are issues that the lawyers can, resolve. Eno Alege and co, Onyema's lawyers, they issued a statement once, if I recall, saying that, look, nobody lost any money in these transactions. Not the United States, not any individual party lost any money, and there is much ado about nothing. So there's more work, it may appear, between for Alege and co and across jurisdictions. But it's not a thing that the media will just say, oh, this is a juicy story. There was virtually almost no platform, that didn't carry that story. Where I don't think I saw it on Rice News, but all the stations, they were feeding on it. I say, can we also, protect our own? Because Allen Onyema is one of the shining lights that we have in this country, regardless, without prejudice, as they say in law, to whatever the Americans, they say they are pursuing.
Absolutely.
But let us be fair and look at both sides of the story. Audi Alteram pattern. They say, hear both sides of the story before you begin to jump to conclusions.
On the issue of the arrest warrant, I believe that had been debunked. I don't think that there were any issues for arrest warrants. But let me read the statement that was issued back in 2019. In his response to the first indictment 5 years ago, Allen Onyema had made it clear that he never laundered money or ever intended to do that. He wondered how funds from bank loans and proceeds from ticket sales could be bad money to be laundered. That was his statement back in 2019. Again, I would reiterate your point, Dr. Abati, which I think was quite excellent. We must avoid this media trial. They are, according to the Department of Justice, innocent until proven guilty in court.
Every gym bro or personal trainer I know wants to start making money.
We'll take another story. Well, presidential spokesperson Bayo Ononuga has replied Nigeria.
All right, guys, what you think? And links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, please click on the link. Again, if you want to call in after the conversation, please click on the link. And listen, Stephanie, I think everybody should get their yearly checkup. Everyone should get their yearly bill of health. So I'm going to get checked out. Thank you, Stephanie, OG. But guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. Again, if you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. We'll love to have you. If not, we'll go ahead and close out here shortly. Black Beauty. Remember, Dinus, I'm pretty effing rich. Oh, shout out to you, Black Beauty. Shout out to you. In fact, let me hold something. If that's the case, let me hold something. Let me hold something. That's the case. Let me hold a couple dollars. Black Beauty. Okay, the link's in the chat. We'll wait for Black Beauty to call in. The link's in the chat. If you want to call in, click on the link, but we'll wait for Black Beauty. All right, Black Beauty, waiting on you. We're waiting on you, Black Beauty. Black Beauty, go ahead.
Sorry, I really just had forgotten how to sign in. I was just like, let me try to sign in the best way that I can. What's going on? How's it going?
Everything's good. How are you?
Very good. Very nice out here. It's chill. It's been chill. So what's going on with this conversation? What's this conversation about?
Nah, we were just talking about Central Park 5 and Alan Onyema, the CEO of Air Peace. So yeah, that's what we're talking about.
So what were they saying about Air Peace? Because I heard that there were a lot of girls that were pretty much, they traveled Air Peace from the UK or the US and they didn't like it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what's going on now. So at first, when Air Peace opened that route from Lagos to London, it was cheap, but now the price is like triple.
But what did they expect? The price of fuel is so high now. Everything's going to be triple, quadruple. Even like a flight to go home is almost $2,000. It's just I have a credit already at the airport, so I say, okay, I'll be able to go home when I want to. But it's very expensive to travel. It's not. It's
Black Beauty, but you know what's interesting, Black Beauty? It's cheaper to travel to East Africa from America than it is West Africa.
Yeah, because there's more demand for it. More people want to go there.
True. You're right. True.
And the problem is that West Africa hasn't become nice enough for people to want to come on a continual basis. It's just people's family. Let's be honest. It's just people's family coming back home and stuff like that. There's a few African American people coming over here, but it's not a lot of it's not as heavy as it even was during COVID. Like I talk to my husband about that all the time. We look around and we're like, damn, even during COVID time, when we met, it was more busy. There were more people out here. There's more culture going on out here. So a lot has happened in terms of like the numbers going down. So for example, a lot of people, I love Remo. Anyway, it was my birthday on Tuesday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It was fire. I had a great time. I went to Shiro Lagos. It was very nice. A Japanese place here at Landmark. It was very, very nice.
Oh, what's going on? What's going on with Landmark?
Oh, Landmark is done. As soon as I got back here, that's the first place we went because my husband told me they got rid of it. I couldn't believe it because I had gone to a Shaki's concert. I had gone to Wizkid on the beach. I had gone to another beach party. The beach. I mean, I live here. I live right by Onyema Landmark, so I could walk across the street to it. So pretty much it's been gone for a while now. So when I went to Shiro, when you go outside of their restaurant, they used to have like the outside area and you could look over the beach. Now you look at like a short wall because the height of the road is above like the dance area and the back area. I don't know how to explain it, but the road is higher than the view. So now you're just looking at that road. Yeah, they ruined it. So now everybody goes to Ilashe or they go to Elagushi Beach.
Okay.
Elagushi is the beach where everybody hangs out on the weekend. Ilashe is where they do you ever heard that song?
Who sings it?
That's Ruga.
Who?
Ruga.
Ruga. No, I haven't. You know, I've never been to a beach in Nigeria.
Why?
I take that back. I pulled up to a beach. I just wasn't a big fan of the beaches in Lagos.
Yeah, you have to go. So I think like Elagushi is even actually nicer than Oniru Beach because it's less people on it and it's more private. And then Ilashe is nice. You have to go out of your way to it. So they keep it nice over there. But you know, Lagos is different than it was when I got here, in that people are struggling. People are having a difficulty with like just maintaining, you know, life with the Naira dropping down so much every week. Like every week since
it's almost 1700 to 1 now.
Yeah, I exchange every other day, so I know that. But
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. It benefits me, but it doesn't benefit the ordinary Nigerian person, you know?
When I first came to Nigeria in 2018, it was like 350 to 1.
Yeah, even when I got here, it was literally like 680 that time when we all came. And if I'm being honest with you, it has gone it's 1,000 points lower, which is crazy to me. I just don't know how people are going to do it. It has been very hard for a lot of people. So, you know, I do feel bad for what people are going through here. But there's still, you know, there's still life here. There's still people doing what they have to do. There's still a lot of construction. There's new buildings. There's, you know, you have to be able to afford it. Things are very, very expensive in Nigeria in terms of like buying a house, buying a condo, what they consider a maisonette condo. Buying those kind of things are very, very expensive. And then someone taught me, because I was going to buy something when I first got here. Someone actually gave me something that I could buy for a nice price. And then, you know, I spoke to someone who basically their grandfather created the FCMB bank, you know, and he sat me down and he was like, let me explain to you how currency in this country works. He was like, you will buy your condo now, and then 4 or 5 years from now, it won't even be worth what you bought it for because the currency is going to go down. So he suggested that I just buy my property in the States and just
so he's saying that it's going to get worse. The Naira.
He's saying that it doesn't matter how much you invest in the property, there'll never be a buyer at the end. If you're trying to get out of the property and realize the actual gains from the property, you'll never realize the gain for the property. So you could just buy it and live in it if that's what you want, but you won't be able to like make money off of your property. So it's not the same as like when you buy something in New York. I'm from New York. Everything goes up in New York. Doesn't matter what the political climate is.
Right.
So it's not the same unless you are buying in certain areas. So like areas where my husband's from is very buy friendly. They still have good prices over there. Everyone's buying over in those areas. But right on this island, it's almost impossible to buy anything unless it's cut up already, and then those are very, very expensive. So
okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jonathan Miller. So you think the currency is going to get worse? The value of the Naira to the USD is going to get worse?
I don't think it's that. I think, you know, isn't it? Where's your camera?
I turned it off. I was on earlier. I turned it like when you guys come on, I turn my camera off.
I don't need to share with you. It's fine. It's all good.
Share me what? Share me what?
Share this glory.
Okay, no, you're already on. You're already sharing it. You're already sharing it.
That's a fact.
Johnny says 2000 is coming. Okay.
So I want to say to you, Barkadarana, Barkadayama.
What's that?
That's Hausa.
Oh, okay. Have you been to Hassaland yet? You been to Cato?
I've been up to Abuja, but I have not been outside of there. And also my instructor, he's like a pretty big deal. He's a pretty big executive in Abuja. So he's my instructor and he's fire. So
all right, cool.
A rich house with money and power and status.
So are you happy about the move to Nigeria? You like Nigeria? You love Nigeria, Black Beauty?
I think Nigeria is no. I think Nigeria is not a place to love. I think it's a place to tolerate. Like you love this place because you come here, you have a good. I love this place because I can divest from this place whenever I want. Whenever I don't want to be here, I don't have to be here. It's a choice every time I'm here. So it's not like I'm stuck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice. It's not something that like you're going to come here and think that you're going to do anything better than what you could do in Atlanta, than what you could do in Houston, Texas, New York, California, what you could do in almost any state in the States. Like getting money and making that money multiply is going to be very impossible for a person in this West Africa. You want to spend your money in West Africa? No problem. But thinking that you're going to buy something and it's going to be worth more when you're in a, an older person, it doesn't work that way. You buy something to live in it. You don't buy it for the appreciation value. So that's the biggest thing I think most people need to know about. And I don't know about Ghana. I haven't been there yet. But what I've heard is that it's very expensive also, and it's not even as developed. So my thing is, it's not cheap to be in West Africa. The best thing to do is just come and rent. Spend a couple $1,000s, rent a nice place, fix it up, and stay there and enjoy that place and enjoy the culture of people and things like that. You're really not going to be able to do more than that here. This place is set up for what they call failure. So I hate to say it, it's true. But there's a lot of fun things to do if you have money. Like if you have money, getting around and enjoying this place is easy. But think you're gonna make money here? Not gonna happen. So,
Black Beauty. So do you? Someone in the chat was asking, do you consider yourself Jamaican / Black American, or what do you consider yourself?
Oh, I'm definitely Jamaican. My daddy is still alive. You mad? No matter what. Okay. I am Black American in that my mom's family is Black American, yes, and they raised me. And even it was a combination because my dad and my mom, they live close by in the Bronx, so it was kind of like go to dad's house, mom's house. Still go to dad's house, mom's house. He was very, very close. So it's one of those things where it's like my daddy has been in this country, the United States. He lives in Virginia. He actually lives in like a military town. One of my half sisters, I guess her man is in the military or some status and helped my dad or something like that find a nice place down in Virginia. He don't even live in New York anymore. He moved out of New York when I moved to Nigeria. So it's my daddy he's all right. And I don't know, but I don't think it's a Black American or a Jamaican thing. I don't think so. I think it's a hard working kind of thing. I think if you want to be rich, you can. If you want to have something, you can. I don't think it means anything. I don't think any of that stuff that we talked about for the last 3, 4, 5 years means anything. That's why I came on your platform. I think I wanted people to know that like all this politics shifts that's swirling in your head, none of that means anything for you as a Pan-Africanist, as a Black African person. It doesn't mean anything because ultimately you still have to survive. You still have to pay your bills. You still have to find a place to get some property that'll make you some money with the least tax burden, right? That's the goal of us, what we're doing here when we're coming. When they say Pan-Africanism, it's not about just coming up in Nigeria and eating egusi. I don't even eat egusi that much. So it's not about that. It's about finding a place where you can do. I'll never forget in high school, I went to a very popular high school in New York called Fiorello H. LaGuardia Music and Arts. I know you know that school. That's a very, very popular school. And one thing that that I knew from high school time, because a lot of my friends, their parents were French, Italian, and even the Black ones, they were from other places. What I learned was that to enjoy New York City, you got to come with the money. So it's the same thing here in Lagos. There used to be people when I was in high school and middle school that like their parents came from France and Russia. Some of my friends' mothers and fathers, their parents came from France, Russia, all these other places with money. And they kind of just set up and everything was enjoyable for them because they had that conversion, that currency discrepancy, right? They could take advantage of that higher currency that they were getting from euros or whatever, or pounds or GBP. So that's really what's going on. People are doing that same thing in New York which I don't know about the rest of the country. I don't care about it. You know, I'm from New York, so I'm sorry, Atlanta and California, but like I'm from the market maker, so I don't care about the rest of the country. And if I'm being honest with you, I used to see people from the Netherlands, Denmark, you know, from France, Switzerland, and their kids were friends with us. You know, we all hung out together. We all did arts together. And the truth is that they were already set up, even from high school. They came with the money ready. And that's what we're trying to do here in West Africa as Black American people with money. You come in and you enjoy it the same way the Europeans come into New York and Los Angeles and enjoy it. So that's really what it's about. And because of your privileged position, you may be able to do things in a more fast manner and avoid taxes too. You might be able to be like, hey, here's something. I don't know about that, but here's this. So that's how things work here. Yeah. And it's so crazy because I'm surprised that more people like out of your trips haven't come and stayed in Africa. And I think it's because they suspect.
No, some have.
I have. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying like not as many as stayed. You know what I mean? People can see the deficiencies in it, you know? People can see where they should be investing their time and their money.
Somebody said, y'all done talking about Central Park 5. No, if you want to call in and add to the Central Park 5 conversation, you can talk Sean Network. Go ahead, Black people.
What about the Central Park 5 though? You see, like who gives a fuck?
I mean, we're just talking about it's just a general conversation. I think the lawsuit they brought up against Donald Trump is all political theater.
Why do you even care about Donald Trump? To hell with them. Every last one of those politicians, including that lady, who's from where she say Saint Anne.
Oh, Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I just feel like the weaponization of Black African people against one another is very funny in America, because it shouldn't really matter whether or not if she's a Jamaican, it shouldn't really matter, but because she doesn't really have those cultural roots for real. Like, God, I heard her yard accent a couple weeks ago. I was so ashamed. I was like, damn, she couldn't even say Yaman right. I said, well, how hard could that be? Well, at least you could be Yaman, everything, Chris. Like, how hard could that be, Kamala? You know? Like, so to me, even her cultural roots are missing. Her patwa, if you want to be Jamaican, you can be Jamaican. We have plenty of Jamaicans that look just like her. One of my best friends looks just like Kamala. She is Jamaican as hell.
Well, she's Indian. She's Indian.
Indian. But that's how we come in the Caribbean. That's how we come. We come mixed up. And if most of the mixed people, if you ask them, they're Black. Their mindset is Black. So they come like that. So I'm not saying that Kamala is or isn't one of those. But if she wanted to convince me, a Caribbean West Indian person, she didn't convince me as a Jamaican. And I even called my dad. I was like, she from St. Anne. That's where my dad is from too. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting to like see her play with the culture and not even know a lick of yard. Or she don't even know any of the cultural references, or she can't even really speak to us.
She grew up Indian, Black Beauty. Like,
no, that don't mean anything. I'm gonna tell you, there's many coolie them. There's many Douglas them that know the culture better even than me. You know what I mean? They like Shensia. She's Indian. Shenyen. She's Indian. You know Shensia.
I don't know who that is. Who's that?
The bad girl. You know her. She's so pretty, and you know her.
But let me pass it to Jonathan. Go ahead, Jonathan. Unmute yourself, Jonathan.
Yeah, when I seen the notification about the Central Park 5 suing Trump, the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, y'all niggas is trying everything at this point. Y'all had all of these years to sue the guy. You want to wait right before the election.
No, Jonathan, number one, like let's not use their word. But I said the same thing. Y'all had all these years to sue the guy. It's political theater. That's all. You know, they were at the DNC, so I just, like I said, I think it's just politics.
It ain't gonna work. It really ain't gonna work. Everyone knows it's gonna be about politics because you had all of that time to get it done.
Right.
So it's a trash move. And them dudes that look silly for doing it.
Yes, sir. Lee Clinton. Go ahead, Lee Clinton. Unmute yourself.
Hey, how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, just want to make sure I'm coming in clear. As far as Kamala, she is Indian or mixed race, biracial. I would say mixed race because her father's biracial. Her father's mixed race. So if you take a person whose mother is Indian, the other parent is mixed race, that offspring is not black. Now, here's the issue. Besides whatever her so-called plans are for the country, they are trying to pass her off as a black woman. That is disingenuous. That's number one. Now, even though the Caribbean is predominantly black, meaning in race African, that's obvious through the history, through the culture, etc. There are people in the Caribbean who take part in the culture who are not ethnically black. For example, in Jamaica, you have Caucasians, you have Chinese who identify as Jamaican. There's a famous, well, I don't say he's famous, but he's definitely an internet personality, a Caucasian guy, I think he's heavy on Instagram, who speaks the Jamaican patois. But at the end of the day, they have their cultural identity, but these are still different races. Just like America has an American idea, an overall American identity, but we have different racial groups and even different cultures if you go state by state. But majority of people come December 25th, regardless of race, culture, state, will be celebrating Christmas. So it's similar in that kind of way. Different races of people, but similar culture. That's what the Caribbean is. Now, those other races, in the Caribbean specifically, they fall under what the black people are doing there. Because in the Caribbean, it is a black dominant culture, right?
Correct.
And I'm also saying what the young lady was saying, because my parents, well, not my father. My father's Black American. My mother is from the Caribbean. So I know the culture firsthand. And I think that gets people mixed up. And I don't want to let me not be long-winded, but the overall issue here is that they're trying to pass her off as something that she is not. And in this day and age, there's simply no need to. She can come out and say, hey, I'm Indian and I'm such and such, and play into both. And she could use that to her advantage and say, hey, I'm a multicultural person. I this. And yes, I went to HBCU and this, that, instead of trying to lie and then what's the new term they're saying now? Code switching, where 1 minute she's talking like Aunt Jemima, 1 minute she's talking like she's full Indian, 1 minute, that it just comes off as phony. And the thing is, if you're gonna lie about something, if you're gonna lie about this, then what else are you lying about? That's not how you sell yourself to people to vote for you, in my opinion.
Yeah, Black Beauty, you want to add to that?
No, I think he's very correct. There's no way that you can sell yourself if you're not selling something authentic. I mean, people can be what they want to be, but it takes other people to believe it. So if you are a person who is saying that you're West Indian, you better be able to reach for some yard. You better be able to reach for some culture. You better be able to understand, what St. Anne is about. You better be able to, articulate who you are as a Jamaican. Like even me myself, I've been to Jamaica a few times. I didn't grow up there, but one thing about us is we're from New York, and I'm sorry, but all the blacks are Jamaican in New York. So it's just, if I'm being honest with you, it's the culture was there for us to grab it also. So I mean, think about it like this: she went to HBCU, and then she spent most of her time out there in LA. And if I'm being honest, the East Coast is the Black Coast. This is the Caribbean. This is Africa.
I agree. I agree. I'm from the West Coast. I agree.
Is you know that's why you came over this way.
Yeah.
And it's more fun. I'm not gonna lie. I thank God, because I had thought out of high school, because I was supposed to, performing arts. I was gonna go right to California. I was ready because a lot of my family lives in San Jose. A lot of them live in LA. Some of my good friends. One of my cousins, she's in Osaka right now. And but there was no culture to grab. There was no culture to grab over there. There was nothing that we could be a part of. There was a culture in high school and also in my college days in Brooklyn that all of us West Indians were a part of it. All of us. When I say all of us, I say Bayesian, I say Trini, right? I say Jamaicans. I would say people from St. Lucians. I would say Tapase, Haitians. I would say anybody from the Caribbean. Once you had one of them flags from CARICOM, you were a part of this culture, and we had so much fun with it. When I say, like, we all traveled together, we went to Carnival together, we were all we all listened to Back to Basics, we all went to the same parties, it was our culture, and we were a part of it. So the thing is that Caribbean culture is real in this country. So for her to reach for it and not even have nothing to reach for, I felt bad for her. I felt bad for her because she couldn't be a part of this wonderful experience. And as a Black woman, it is a nice thing to push your chest out and wind your hips and say, I'm from Yard, I'm Trini to the bone, I'm a Bayesian like Rihanna. Like, that is sexy and classy. And I'm sorry she didn't have the opportunity to grab for that culture. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Well, someone in the comments says she's a Jamaican American. No, she's not. She was born in California. Then she moved to Canada, where she did most of her schooling until college. Then she came back to America. She doesn't have no Jamaican American nothing. Like, she doesn't have.
Right.
Yeah, so how's she Jamaican American? No, she's an American. She was born in California. Like, she there's nothing to identify her with Jamaica at all. And from my understanding, her father even has kind of like written her off a little bit. So,
from what I heard from Candace, right?
I mean, this is what I'm hearing. I don't know how true it is. That's why I started by saying from what I heard. So I don't know how true it is. From my understanding, he's written her off because of some of the things that she's been saying, and he's like, no, this is not true. But I'm familiar with that side of the family because I've seen some information on that side, and they don't say that they're Black. They say that they're multiracial. So to me, it's just I don't like people. I don't like what they're trying to do with her, trying to pass her off as Black.
Can I ask a question? Maybe, and I know this sounds crazy, but maybe it didn't occur to anybody that the best Black women for the job don't want the job.
Say that again, that maybe the best Black women for the job don't want the job?
Yeah, straight like that.
Okay, but what does that have to do with Kamala?
What I'm saying is that is true. That's a good question. But what I'm trying to imply is that I understand what you're saying, but maybe Blackness shouldn't be the key defining piece of the job. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm not saying it's about a Kamala. I'm just saying that you understand what I'm saying. Right?
Now I do, and I agree. It shouldn't.
Don't want Obama, but she don't want the job. Y'all want Michelle, but she don't want the job. She want to stay pretty. She want to stay taken care of. She want to stay happy, rich, and intelligent with the least amount of gray hair as possible. Let Kamala get the gray hairs. Let her get the wrinkles, right? Like, let her. The women that could be. They also talk about the other lady, the other Black lady that is in the Senate, I believe. You know who I'm talking about? The one that was like a police chief with a really nice hair, dark-skinned lady. They talk about her. She don't want the job either. What I'm saying is that all the Black women that they could reach for with the experience and credentials, they're like, to hell with it. Let Kamala have it.
So you're thinking is that they specifically wanted a Black woman to run for the presidency?
Yes, and that the ones that they wanted weren't available. Sorry.
I don't think that's the case because
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that either.
she was selected to be vice president in 2020 or something like that. And she didn't get no votes. Literally, she literally didn't get no votes. No black woman backed her. Nobody, the Indians didn't back her. Nobody backed her, right? And for whatever reason, based on popularity, because of the bull crap she did in the Senate, she was popular with white liberals, and that's just about it. So they selected her. Now, as far as they didn't want her to be the president, they tried to find ways to try to boot her off the way and get rid of President Biden. That was the last option. So it's not
she's about
about.
the only woman who wants it still, Jonathan. That's my point. Like, forget. Okay, Black, take that out. She's about the only woman that wants it besides Tulsi Gabbard. Nobody else wants that shit.
There was other women. Now the thing is, on the Democratic side, there were other women running for president, but they wasn't going to let Joe Biden, lose. That would be dumb. So they rigged it. There were other women running for the president though.
This time or in 2016?
This time.
Really? Who?
Yeah. They just a whole bunch of unpopular ass people.
No.
And then also, if you think about it, like so late into the race, you remember Joe Biden was originally the one, and then they replaced him with her. So I don't know if that would work, like so late in the race, to get some obscure person, woman that, like Jonathan just said, that's not recognizable, etc. So I'm assuming, that was maybe that was their plan all along, or is the next best thing. Who knows? But it is what it is now.
I think if the Democrats wanted to, I fucking hate politics now. Sorry, guys. I think if the Democrats wanted to win, they should have brought out Michelle Obama. That's really what I'm saying.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, I would even vote for her, but I would vote for Michelle.
Yeah.
But you couldn't just wing her out like that because they already have a vice president, so there would have been a split likely between Michelle and Kamala. So they wouldn't have.
That would have been interesting. That would have been a nice good and bad hair exercise. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, as far as the Central Park 5, it seems like here's a couple of things. Well, I know they still have some feeling towards Trump, right? Because of him taking out the ad back then, calling for the death penalty against them. So I think they still probably have a little animosity towards him. Remember, I don't think Trump and a lot of those people that were accusing him back in the day of the rape of that woman, I don't think they ever apologized. Like when it came out that they were innocent, they didn't do it. They did all those years in prison. They never apologized for that. So I assume they still have some type of beef with Trump, and then that's a part of it. But also they're being used by the Democrats, to come at him. This is just more of the same thing as far as coming at him. Him being on trial, people suing him, etc. This is just to stifle, but it's not working. People are going to vote for who they're going to vote for, just like Kamala. So that's what I think about the Central Park 5 thing. I think, I don't know if they have a strong case. What are they actually suing him about?
No, so what they're saying is he did I think it was during the debate, they brought it up, and of course Trump being Trump, they confess to the crime, blah 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 blah. But like I said, he's been saying that for years on TV and camera. So why just now in October do you want to sue for I guess slander or whatever, or I forgot the term that they're suing for all of a sudden now?
Libel.
There you go. Libel.
Yeah. I mean, they don't. They're not even making it. They're not even trying to fake or anything like that. Like, we could clearly see what this is all about. We could clearly see that this is all to try to stifle him from his reelection. So that, to me, that means maybe they think that he has a strong case. I think a lot of people are tired of the group that has been in power for the last 4 years, so they probably want another group to come in. I think that has more to do with it, more so than Trump. I think there are a lot of people who really don't even like Trump, but they just don't want the Democrats in, so they're going to vote for Trump this time around. A lesser of two evils type of thing. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lee. Then I'm gonna ask you a question. Go ahead.
No, the last thing I was going to say is that both sides have their people that's going to be, Team Dem, Team Repub, all the way. But those people in the middle, in my opinion, this time around, I think they're going to lean more Republican because because of Biden and his performance and the Democrats for the last 4 years.
Hey, Lee, so what are your, and then we're going to close out. What are your predictions for we're 2 weeks away. What are your predictions?
To be honest with you, I think Trump is winning in certain swing states, but at first I thought he was going to take it, but I don't know. I don't know. I know she's going to take the big cities. She's going to take California, the big cities in the blue states. She's going to take New York, those places.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Of course.
So to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Kamala might win, and the only reason why I think she might win is because the people that Trump has spoken about before, like deep state, the establishment, I don't think they want him in there. When you have guys like Cheney, who's a top Republican, cross aisles and says he's endorsing Kamala, that says a lot, in my opinion. Like, no one's not really talking about that. We're talking about a guy they used to call Darth Vader, a guy who they used to say that he was really running the show and not Bush, right? And here he is endorsing Kamala, and I think a couple other Republicans as well. So we know he's a top establishment man, and he's endorsing Kamala. So it seems like the writing is on the wall. They don't want Trump in there. So if I'm a betting man, I say she has a strong chance of winning. So we're going to see, and then lastly, the Electoral College too. Everyone forgets about that. Remember, that's how Trump got in 2016. He didn't get the popular vote. So, we have that to factor in as well. So it's just going to be very interesting. So if I was a betting man, I'll say Kamala only because from what I see as the establishment backing her.
Okay. Let me bring on a U.S. lawyer. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, I kind of agree with what the last guy said a little bit, because I think Trump may win, but he might not be actually take office, because, like I said, like Stalin said, it's not who votes, it's who counts the votes. And they're already setting this thing up, because with all this talk about, we may not be able to count the votes until it's only in the swing states all of a sudden now. They can't count the votes, and it might be
Michigan. Yeah.
But you got people that all over this world, including California, with much bigger populations, are able to count their votes on the same matter within a day. But now all of a sudden, they're already announcing that they may not be able to count the votes until a week later. Why? They need to close it down, send everybody home, and then do the little magic. So but here's the other thing. This whole thing about the Central Park Five and all of this so-called aversion to Trump and Trump being a racist, it's all manufactured, and I'll tell you why. Central Park Five, when it first came out, for the most part, most Democrats and most black leaders did not protest that. They didn't protest when he took out that ad and stuff. They were not really adverse to him. There was some rumblings, but they were not really that adverse to him. And then so the other thing that happened in 1989, in 1999, Operation Push and Jesse Jackson, who at that time was the premier kind of civil rights organization, they gave Trump a lifetime award for service to the black community. Then you had all the 90s where you had all the rappers, he was the top #1 guy. He was on all the shows, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was making all the rounds. And then you also had, during that same period, you had Oprah. Around the 90s, she did a show 27 years ago, and she did like an hour special, and why he'd be a good president. You had Hillary Clinton. The Clintons all are praising him. It's only when Trump came out and said things that were averse to this, what we might call the deep state, when he said those kind of things, like he didn't want to go in for globalism, he didn't want to go into this new, fourth industrial revolutions where we have this transhumanism thing. He didn't want to do that. He wanted America first. I mean, he still wants to plunder some other countries, but he doesn't want to do it in the sense, he doesn't want to do it under some kind of UN umbrella. He wants America to be standing on its own. It's only when he said that, then they started manufacturing all of this stuff about him being a racist and stuff. He only became a racist until he disagreed with the power structure. And also he said he didn't want to do all these wars. These are $1 trillion boondoggles. You look at Ukraine, a lot of that money, it's not really making to Ukraine. Some of it is, but a lot of it's being filtered back through military industrial complex. These companies here are buying equipment. A lot of it's going into banks, and a lot of it's being filtered right back to those politicians who keep voting for it. The same politicians who voted against an audit. Why don't they want an audit of that money? Because the money's coming back to them. So these are $1 trillion boondoggles that these people are having. Also, you're having this thing with BlackRock and all these people trying to buy up Ukraine. Lindsey Graham talking about how it's such a rich resource and we should get it and all the money we can make on it. So that's the problem with Trump. He's not going along with the plunder in the sense of the world that they want. He's not going along with the wars. He's talking about America first. He's not going along with making this country part of some kind of UN bloc. And so that's the problem, because this whole thing about racism is all manufactured. And the way you know it is if you look after the Central Park Five, he was still being celebrated by the black community and the white community and the same liberals now who are trying to tell you he's all but the devil. So this, and also the Central Park thing, this is a common tactic we're finding with Democrats. They dredge up people. They have these benefactors that put up a lot of money, and they raise these are political lawsuits. This is designed to try to put a wedge, because here's what they're hearing. They're hearing that a lot of blacks, especially a lot of black men, aren't falling for the okie doke anymore and aren't willing to just lay down, bow down, be part of the Democratic plantation. And so they need to do something that creates a new aversion between blacks and Trump. So they put this lawsuit up. And it's just like these other lawsuits when they sued Trump. They knew most of those lawsuits won't hold up on appeal. They didn't care about that. The whole goal was to impede his ability, try to take his money, and keep him from being able to run. Whether they held up on appeal didn't matter, because the appeals would come long after the election. This is the same thing that's going on with the Central Park Five. They're been funded and put up now because what they're trying to do is create some conflict between the black community and create some aversion to Trump within the black community. So this is all political. So that's my take on the whole thing, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, shoot. As far as your predictions, well, Jonathan. Well, you already with U.S. Lord. Jonathan, what are your predictions for the election? Jonathan, you there?
Yeah, I think she's gonna get mollywopped.
You think so?
Yeah, it's gonna be a horrible mollywop.
Because they're saying like New Jersey and Virginia are in play.
Yeah, and I bet it is. She's gonna get mollywopped. It won't be as bad as Reagan did that one dude, but it'll be close to that. She's gonna get whooped badly.
So, guys, when November 5th, we will be streaming the election. So, tune in. But hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.